For a few years, therefore I feel I am qualified to answer this question from the inside. First meeting. I had just graduated college in Delhi and was waiting for joining date from a reputed MNC. One evening, I was hanging out with my group of friends in shopping mall when I stumbled across an old college friend of mine. I was happy to meet her after so long. We talked for a while, how's life and so on, we exchanged numbers and then she left. First phone call. 2 weeks later I got a call from her and engaged in casual conversation about work, hobbies and stuff, and slowly she diverted the conversation to future plans, goals, dreams and so on. Then she mentioned that she had big dreams for herself, had started her own business. I asked her more details about her business, but she somehow managed to dodge all my questions without revealing much details. But she stressed more and more on how her life has changed. Also mentioned that she's earning almost double the salary her corporate company is giving her, and then she hurriedly ended the call saying some work has come up. She's really busy and will call again someday later. But this conversation that I had with her made me curious as to what business is she into, and lots such questions propped up in my mind. I was fresh out of college and the idea of corporate life did not fit my thought process. She managed to leave me restless after that call, and I was eagerly waiting for her to call again. Second phone call. And guess what? That crafty woman called me again after exactly 1 week. This time her tone was different. She seemed to be in a hurry. She asked me, "Dude, are you free this weekend?" I hesitantly replied, "Yes, I am free," and then she hurriedly tells me that her senior partner, who runs the business with her, is in the city for a very short time and is looking for a partner to manage the business in Delhi. She then proceeds to say that he's a highly respected guy and is never free, and that this is a golden opportunity to do something worthwhile in this life. She got me so worked up and excited that I instantly agreed for the meeting. Note how she did not mention a single thing about what the business is about. She controlled the whole conversation. I was a mere clueless victim she was prepping for sacrifice. Business meeting. Now, she did not reveal the venue of the meeting until 1 day prior. Remember, this senior partner is a busy guy and is difficult to catch. She texted me the address. It was a Starbucks cafe in a shopping mall in posh locality. Then she asked me to wear a business attire. And please don't be late, a senior partner does not have that much time, and that I am lucky to be even meeting him. As clueless as I was, I believed each and every word she said because 1. She was my good friend in college. 2. She didn't seem scammer types and was one of the toppers in our college. 3. She sounded quite convincing and excited. I followed her every instruction to the T and arrived at the venue 20 minutes early. She met me outside the Starbucks and escorted me in, and then she looked around and chose a secluded corner where there were no people around and less noisy, which made sense. We waited at the table for 10 minutes and then a guy came and sat beside me and introduced himself. He seemed businessy. We started talking and then slowly he took complete charge of the conversation and started asking questions to know more about me. And then he mentioned a guy's name who is his mentor and goes on and on about how great this man is. At one point, I felt that I might be meeting some famous business tycoon and actually started feeling lucky. Lol. That's how they lure you, all sweet words and tall claims. Then again, he blurts out some more instructions like please be attentive when this senior partner is talking, do not interrupt, ask questions at the end and so on, all which I agreed, and then he walks out of the cafe saying he'll check if the senior partner is done with this meeting, so I can meet him. Senior partner enters. After 10 minutes, a golu short-bearded guy comes in and my friend stands up immediately and shakes his hand. I follow her cue and shook his hand and introduced myself. He sat in front of me and we started talking. Then he asked questions about me, where I'm from, where I studied, what are my plans, etc. Then he asked me what are my thoughts about business in general, and from there he slowly unwound and got into serious discussion on business in general and explicitly stressed on the words like risk, Robert Kiyosaki, ESBI, and some other business jargons which went over my head. He then tells me his business is booming and if everything goes well the turnover is expected to be 4 crores annually for each of his business partner. I was shitting bricks by this time. I was so excited. In my mind I was high on money, already building castles in the air. 4 crores every year. That's the dream. Even if I manage 1 crore in a year, that's enough for me. He understood from earlier conversation that I dreamt about traveling abroad. I was also looking to buy a house for my family. Using these 2 points, he started wiring up my trap. Again, I was absolutely clueless and was super engrossed in the dream that he was selling me. Then he asked, if I gave you 1000% assurance and guarantee that our business is ethical, moral and legal on all fronts, will you be interested to be part of this business? I said, hell yes. He then went on to say that since this is a business and I'll be joining as a partner, obviously there will be investment involved. And the word investment is what zapped me back into reality. Wait. What? Investment? I've to give money? What? I started sweating and shifting. He realized this and then cited an example of a traditional business model, a cloth shop. Asked me how much I thought would be a minimum investment to set up a cloth shop. How the heck would I know? Nobody in my family ever did a cloth business. I pretended to think and blurted out 10 lakhs minimum. And then he asked me, do you have 10 lakhs to invest in a business? To which I replied, no. Then he said of course nobody has this much money lying in their house to invest in any business just like that. This is where he finally puts the noose around my neck. The minimum investment slab for my business is 2.5 lakhs. Even I started with same amount and now I am worth much more. Do you have 2.5 lakhs? I replied, no. These questions were getting really uncomfortable at this point and I wanted to run away back to the comfort of my house. He continued with his grinding with a calm demeanor as if he does this day in and day out. Even if you had 2.5 lakhs, I wouldn't take it. Business people never put their own money in any business. They take money from the market and make money from the market. I was completely lost. Didn't get a word he said. So since you've expressed your desire to be my partner in Delhi, I would recommend you to apply for a personal loan of 3.5 lakhs. Loan? What? Are you kidding me right now? My sweating became more profuse. I could already see the disappointed look on my dad's face. I was nervous to the core. Stomach was churning. I'll tell you why loan is best. See, you take 3.5 lakhs loan from the bank. Bank will charge an ME of 5k per month. So look at it this way, you're doing a business which has the potential of giving you 4 crores every year for just a meager 5k per month investment. Unfortunately, I took that bait. Mind you, up until this point, he did not even tell me what the business is about, what industry they are in, what are the products. He willfully and tactfully guided the conversation to scam me into investing 3.5 lakhs. In the hindsight, when I think about it, I feel so dumb. How did I not see through that trap? Arg. He then lectured me more about risks and how business works and other motivational shit about successful businesses. I agreed to apply for loan approval and investment. Now, apparently, these people have contacts with lots of loan agents. I mean, why not? If I was a loan agent, then these people would be freaking gold mine for me. They set me up with one of the loan agent guy who took all my documents and loan amount was dispersed within 9 days. I sent the amount to that senior partner guy who then asked me to start attending the training sessions, gave me some business books to read. One of the books was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Does Robert know that his books are being used as tools to scam people in India? Business. I completed my Business 101 training, finished my books, and now it was time for some action. I still had no clue what the business was about. Not even kidding. I am that gullible. Finally, one afternoon, I was given the complete details of the business. It's a freaking multi-level marketing. I gave 3.5 lakhs to an MLM company. Let me say that again for emphasis. I gave 3.5 lakhs to an MLM company without even checking. Now I need to get one guy on the right and one guy on the left to start my chain. The guy on the left should not have any connections to the guy on the right. Which means, I need to add one of my friends on the left side of my chain, and on the right side I need to add someone from other circles, like family, corporate friends, etc. And guess what? I had to call people and tell them about my business. For a guy who hates to talk on the phone to anyone, this was an Everest to climb, but as you already know, I had no choice. Remember the 3.5 lakhs that I gave to an MLM without even checking? The money that I invested is simply used to buy products from the Qnet's website. The products? Well, a glass disc which supposedly connects to my Kai, it costs 25k, lol. And there are other products as well, like holiday packages, etc. They have this concept called unit volume, UV. Each product in the portal is worth some UVs. 3 UVs of business on my left side of the chain and 3 UVs of business on the right side of chain is required at the minimum to generate a paycheck. The senior partners, or uplines, MLM term, they completely control how the money is used to buy which product. The payout is every Tuesday and the business closes on Friday every week. So every Friday these first copycat and tatas scam as much as people as they can, pump money into the Qnet portal to earn money. This is the business. The business model itself might be ethical at its core, but the way it has been designed and operated in India, there's no ethical way to do it. It always comes down to scamming clueless and gullible people like me. How far did I go? There are multiple training every week. They break down each and every value that you might have picked up from your upbringing. You become like them. A pure psychological brainwash. You become ruthless and all you think about is money. It pollutes your mind. Then they have these conferences outside India. It's called Vihaan. I attended conferences in Dubai, Malaysia, Thailand. All of these trips were funded from the money out of my own pockets, loans, credit cards, debts. You blindly follow whatever they say and would go to any extent to do what they ask you. Beg, borrow, steal. Then slowly I started earning a bit of money. I had my own team.
Then the senior partners, they start including you in their elite circles. Late night parties, social gatherings, etc. I used to leave my house at 6 a.m. for my corporate office. After office I directly went to meet my team, all of whom were scammed like me, but I didn't care. They were money-making machines for me and I had to teach them how to scam others. And then the late night parties, after which I returned home at 4 a.m. 2 hours sleep and then same routine repeats. Sometimes my parents did not see me for days, even though we lived in the same house. They were really concerned about what I am trapped in because I stopped giving money for their expenses at home. Dad was about to retire. Things were getting really tense at home. Debt piled up. Money in vs money out graph became steep and I lost control. At the age of 24, I was trapped in a vicious debt cycle and in the process had managed to accumulate a debt of 17 lakhs. Lost almost all of my friends. They started avoiding me. I was lonely. Lost connections with my family. They suffered too because they were sort of wholly dependent on my salary for the daily needs, due to which my dad was trapped in a debt cycle. I finally took decision to stop meeting those people and absconded. They were quite persistent. You build this master-slave relationship with them over the time. More like a Stockholm syndrome. That's what drives this entire organization. They kept calling me multiple times every day. Blocked all the numbers, shut myself out from social media, stayed home most of the time. There was absolutely nobody who would understand why I did what I did. Why would anyone stand by me? I had clearly lost my way. I deserved every bit of pain this whole endeavor caused me. But luckily for me, there were some of my childhood friends who talked to me, helped me to find solution to this problem. 17 lakhs debt with a salary of 40k per month. That's a kill shot right there. There's only one way it would end. My death. I spiraled into depression. Absolutely no will to live. Have you seen your dad sitting in the balcony of your house, gloomy, staring blankly at the skies? I have. He used to do that every night because he had no answers to the problems. He stopped talking to me. There was nothing to say. That sight broke me to the core. I didn't have guts to look him in the eyes and say sorry. I still don't. That's when I started planning my suicide. I started reading up on credit cards and loans. Credit card overdue amounts are not voided if the primary account holder dies, it is simply transferred to the next of kin. So I couldn't even afford to kill myself, because that would simply mean I put my family in lot more trouble. I owed a lot of money to people and they were getting impatient. Threats, abuses came via calls and texts because I couldn't repay them. I again started thinking about suicide. I mean, this is enough. I have made enough mistakes for one lifetime. Time for a respawn. Slowly started clearing the credit card's debts. The plan was to apply for organ donation and find a way to kill myself without damaging the internal organs. At least do something good while I go, right? I started reading more and more about suicides, effective ways to commit suicides, etc. And one day I stepped out to hospital to register for organ donation. I was almost there and my mom called. I did not pick up first and then she called again. I picked up. She told me that my lunch is kept in a plate in the kitchen, I can have it when I'm back. Her voice, that's when my brain took off, I zapped back. I returned home and had that lunch and took a decision to never think about suicide ever again. Today is July 21st, 2020, I finally finished all my credit card debts. Repaid all the debts. It took me full 5 years to get my life back on track. Whatever I have written above was supposed to be a big suicide note which I had saved in my phone to be posted on Facebook, but fortunately it's not. There are two types of mistakes that a person can do. Reversible mistake, my decision to join Qnet. Irreversible mistake, my decision to commit suicide. You should never commit irreversible mistakes. There's no coming back for an irreversible mistake, even if you want to. Please consult with someone before deciding to do so, second perspective is always good. Qnet is a quicksand. Never go near it and avoid people who suddenly out of the blue are trying to get in touch with you to talk about their new business. If you're trapped, best solution is to stop as early as possible so that the losses are manageable. If you do join Qnet, please keep your friends away from it, you would need them to give a hand when you eventually lose your way, which I am sure you will. Been there, done that. Sincerely. Anonymous.